I'm gonna go to call this kid.
Yeah.
Panay, it's Brad Holmes, GM with the Detroit Lions. How you doing, man? Hey, I told you I'll follow up with you, man. You ready to be in line? All right, man. Well, we're about to pick you here, man. Congratulations, man. Hey, it's one pride over here, man. We want you in this pride, all right? You're going to be a big part of what we're doing going forward, all right, man? All right, man. Congratulations. Congratulations, man. Enjoy with your family, all right? Hey, let me get you on the phone with our head coach, Dan Campbell, all right? Congratulations, big man, all right?
Big man.
Turn it.
Hey, we are fired up, my friend. You're going to change the culture for us, man. We're going to build this thing around guys like you. You hear me? You come in and play just like you've been playing, man. You come in to compete, man. You be just as nasty and dirty as you've been, and you're going to help us turn this thing around. We're going to be winners, man. All right? You're the building block. Do you hear me? All right. We're fired up, man. Hey, listen, I'm going to turn you over to our owner, all right? Sheila Ford Hamp, all right? So just a minute here. All right, brother.
Wow! That's a very exciting draft room
That's
here.
outstanding. That's outstanding.
Wonderful. So can't wait to get you here.
Outstanding.
You know,
Oh,
help us turn this thing around. So we know you're going to. Great. Well, we can't wait to see you. Congratulations, and we're thrilled.
oh my
Take
God.
care. We'll see you soon. Okay. Bye-bye.
Woo! Yes, sir.
That is
wow.
unbelievable. That is
Oh.
unbelievable.
So the Lions pick, and then the Miami Dolphins will choose. They've already made their choice. The Niners are on the clock. The Cowboys right behind them. We'll get the Detroit Lions pick from the commissioner right now. Who will they add to Penei Sewell? And are they chest bumping right now in their draft room over it, just like they did last night? Most likely, yes.
Got a little physical in there.
With the 41st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Levi Onwuzurike, defensive tackle, Washington.
2019 First Team All Pac-12.
Pressure and sacks.
Levi Onwuzurike, defensive tackle.
Onwuzurike got to him.
Yeah, this is my #1 defensive tackle. Had Barmore right behind him at #2. This is a penetrator, can get upfield. He's got some inside-outside flexibility with how they use him in their alignment there at Washington. Did not see him play this year. He was an opt-out, but you go back to 2019, and you see that one-step explosiveness, and you see the knockback that he's able to generate. He spends a lot of time in the backfield. This was his best game that I watched. The first game I watched against Stanford, it was constant penetration, splitting double teams, and being disruptive. He has a great ability to just slip off blocks. He's not a real long player in terms of his length, but he's just slippery. As a rusher, quick rip move. He's able to get home on Dwayne Haskins here working against Ohio State. And they are celebrating again.
Yeah, they are. They're
as they go back to the Pac-12.
That's a chest bump. That's a hug.
Doing a little work there, Rich. Get Penei Sewell, and now you go to the Pac-12 and get Levi Onwuzurike. I don't think this is quite as physical or as violent as we saw last night, but still a lot of energy in that draft room.
Levi.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Happy to be here.
So how shocked were you when the Lions took you right now?
I was pretty shocked. I got some insight that might be coming, but I mean, I was still shocked when I have it. I'm happy now.
Dan Campbell's been talking about this toughness. I've been asking this question over and over. What are Detroiters going to expect from you the first time you touch the field?
Say again?
What are Detroiters going to expect from you the first time you touch the field?
I think it's just disruptiveness and speed, just messing up offensive schemes and playing how I play in college, but at a higher level.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tim, next.
Hey, Levi, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, do you get any sense of how Detroit will use you? I know you played a lot of nose at Washington, but you did move to three tech a little bit. Do you have any sense of kind of how they're going to use you? Do you feel like you can play pretty much anywhere across the defensive interior if you need to?
Yeah, I don't have a sense of where they'll play me, but just like you said, I can play anywhere. And I played everywhere in the past, so just ready to be, whether it's a 1, 3, 0, 5, 9 tech, whatever, ready to play it.
And what do you think is the biggest, your biggest attribute? What do you think you bring to the table the most?
I think get off and strength. I think those are two most important things as a D lineman out there. I got both of those.
Let's go to Brad Galley next.
Levi, I was reading after your 40-yard dash. You told people you were the top D tackle. You should go in the first round. What was waiting around until the second day like for you?
It was cool. I wasn't tripping. I wasn't chilling. At the end of the day, wherever I end up, I'm a ball out. So I was just waiting. That's all it is.
To not play football for a whole year and obviously to be as talented, to be as driven as you are, how difficult was it watching your teammates go through it, and how much hunger do you have to get on the field with your new team in Detroit?
Man, it was real difficult just watching my boys out there. But once again, I was real proud of them, real proud of what they did that season. It was for sure hard to watch. I felt like I went back to being a fan, and just watching it on TV was tough to watch. You want to be out there. But yeah, for sure missed that. What was your second question?
Just how hungry are you to get on the field?
I'll hop on the field right now if I have to.
Love it, man. Nice to meet you.
Yes, sir.
Mikey.
What's up, Levi? Congrats on the pick. I read a quote. You were asked what's your favorite part about playing on the defensive line, and you said, I really just like exploding out of my stance and effing people up.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that quote just a little bit?
I mean, I think it tells you all. I like people up. I like to get off the line and just put my helmet or my hands on an offensive lineman and up an offensive scheme pretty much. I like pushing them back 2-3 yards and just making them feel like.
I think that aligns pretty closely with what Dan Campbell's been talking about, what he's looking for. I'm just curious what sort of interactions you had with Dan, if any, throughout the process.
Yeah, we talked a lot. I can't tell you the specifics just because I've talked to so many teams. But I remember talking to him at Senior Bowl and after that. So we talked a good amount.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We've got time for two more. Justin Rogers.
Hey, Levi, welcome to Detroit.
Yes, sir.
I know you line up in different spots, but I just wondered, did you ever get a chance to match up with Penei Sewell when you guys played Oregon, and just maybe your thoughts on him as a player, your new teammate here in Detroit?
Oh yeah, he's an elite player. He's a dog, quick for sure. Should have been, or he was the first tackle out, first lineman out, and that's well deserved. He deserves all that. Quickest player, one of the quickest player I ever played against. Very balanced, very big, but also has an athletic build. He's almost like a tight end at the tackle position. He's elite. So we're gonna make it happen up in Detroit.
And in terms of pass rush, people talk about your ability to disrupt the pocket. I think only 6 or 7 sacks though in those 3 seasons. What do you need to take that element of your game to the next level to start dropping the quarterback a little bit more often?
Oh yeah, everything I've practiced over this offseason, from bend to pad level, everything. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about production. It's about putting pressure on that quarterback and making that happen so your other players can succeed as well. But obviously, we're going to work to take that next step.
Congratulations, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Last question, Dave Burkett.
Hey, Levi. We appreciate your time today, and congrats. Welcome to Detroit. First, I guess, can you just explain a little bit more? Yeah, I mean, they draft Sewell in round 1, you in round 2. When there's such a big emphasis on the trenches, what does that tell you as a player, and what do you think that means for the team, I guess, too?
I mean, I think it means a lot. I mean, the trenches are arguably the most important position group in football. So I think it's an honor for me to be the first D tackle out. It's an honor to play at the Lions. I think the Lions are trying to build something right here, and we got 2 good parts to build that.
Like that. And then part two, obviously you're quiet. I don't know if you're hidden in a corner of the house or something right now, but what's going on? Do you have a draft party going on today? What all is going on around you, I guess, today?
Yeah, downstairs, everybody's turning up, enjoying their time. So I'll be down there after.
Yeah. So did you have something yesterday too, or what's?
Yeah. So same thing. We just had a bunch of the friends, a bunch of the homies. A couple more guys came today.
And I know you said earlier that it doesn't matter where you go. You're going to be ready to mess it up anyways.
Hell yeah.
Does that put a chip on your shoulder, I guess, at all? I mean, getting passed over. Is there anything that?
At the end of the day, I'm gonna have a chip on my shoulder just because if I went fourth round, I'm gonna have a chip on my shoulder. If I went first round, first pick, I'm gonna have a chip on my shoulder. Either way, I'll pick some up. So I'm not really worried about that.
And select Levi Onwuzurike, defensive tackle, Washington.
It was Onwuzurike that did it.
Dell got stuffed. Levi Onwuzurike leading the way. This one's blown up. Levi Onwuzurike, one of the best in the Pac-12 inside, and he's showing it today.
All right, here's the Detroit Lions' latest selection, 72 overall. It's Frank Ragnow announcing his newest teammate. And this is a Michigan Wolverine. Let's see if he acknowledges that.
Hello. With the 72nd pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Alim McNeill, defensive tackle, NC State.
All right, Alim McNeill adding to the trenches. We knew when you saw Dan Campbell get in that room and he's sitting in there talking about biting kneecaps, they were going to go big guys, and that's what they've done in this draft with Penei Sewell, Levi Onwuzurike, and now with Alim McNeill, who reminded me a lot of Javon Hargrave when I studied him. He's just a big, powerful pocket pusher inside. He eats blockers. You just can't move him. And I love this fact, guys. When he played high school baseball, he was a 6'2", 270-pound outfielder. Joel, in your baseball experience, do you have a comp for that one?
No, I don't. That's stupid. There's the video. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Joel, that's not slow pitch softball either.
No, it's not. By the way, did you see where the third baseman was playing?
Oh, yeah.
On the outfield grass. There's no way he's getting in on the infield grass.
When Alim McNeill was hitting in high school, the shift was a little different. The shift was back, not over on
exactly
position.
Right. His athleticism, by the way, it shows up on the baseball diamond, but he was also a linebacker as well as a running back in high school, and he only showed up at 260 pounds, so he's put on weight, and that explosiveness is still there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry, I was muted.
Hey, no problem. Hey, I just want you were a former high school running back. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was.
And can you just speak of the transition to defensive tackle at NC State, what they kind of saw there, and just how you've developed that over the years, and how that athleticism playing linebacker and running back in high school kind of helped you transition to that role?
Yeah, it wasn't that hard of a transition for me. After about a week of college football, of in camp and stuff like that, I was able to catch on to it pretty quick, and I put myself in the 2 deep. Me being able to use my athleticism was what really pushed me over the edge. Being able to make moves on guards and stuff that I was a lot quicker than. And that's what really helped me and kind of gave me an edge over guys by playing in games, or rather in practice, putting myself in good positions and stuff.
Justin Rogers. Alim, congratulations on being selected. I'm curious, what is the mentality that goes into being a successful nose tackle? I think it's probably a position a lot of people take for granted on the outside.
Yeah, really the mindset you have to have in there, it's not the most glorious position, whether like stats-wise and stuff like that. You really just have to be a selfless person to play in there, somebody who's gritty and who's willing to put their body and their self on the line to be able to have guys around them eat and succeed as well. It's a very key position, but you have to have the mindset that, I'm here to plug gaps. I'm going to create havoc. I'm going to destroy blocks and make plays in the backfield while also doing my job the correct way. The nose tackle is a very important position. And so that's the mindset you have to have.
I know you probably talked to 20+ teams during this pre-draft process. What, if anything, do you remember about the contact you had with the Lions?
I remember it was a great meeting. I loved every moment of it, every minute of it. I remember they were really impressed with how I interviewed with them as well. And overall, it was just a great meeting. So.
Thanks, Lim.
Go to Eric Woodyard.
What's up, man? How you doing, man? Welcome to Detroit.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Man, for you, when you see the trend of, what this new front office is doing, to add you to that, man, what do you think about just the direction that they're headed in, just the Lions culture that you're entering right now? What's your thoughts on just the draft trend so far?
And I feel like we're trending in the correct direction. We're going up. I really think something special is brewing here, and I can't wait to get it going.
Let's go to Kyle Meinke.
What's up, Alim? I'm just hopping on a little late, so I apologize if you've already been asked this, but you're the third lineman to be taken in 3 picks from Detroit, including 2 defensive tackles. Just curious what you think about all the investments Detroit's making, including in yourself up front.
I don't really have many thoughts about that. I just know, the games are won and they're started in the trenches, and I feel like that's where they wanted to go at. But I don't really have any, thoughts on that really.
Cool. Thank you.
Stoney?
Yeah, I wanted to know how familiar you are with Levi, and when he was picked, did you say, man, I'm better than him? And now you are on the same team and the same line.
Yeah, never, not once did I say that. I was happy as ever for when Levi got drafted. We've never really talked in person, but we know each other through this process. And my D-line my position coach while I was out in California training was his as well. And so through him is how we got to meet each other. But no, not once did I ever say, I'm better than him. No, I can't wait to get to work with him.
Thank you.
Ken Brown.
Hey, welcome to Detroit.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I saw your baseball film out there. You got to tell me about being a big fella as an outfielder, and how much do you love the game, and tell me what kind of player you were.
Yeah, I love baseball. The baseball was actually my first sport, and I didn't see myself as a big guy in the outfield, honestly. I just, I see myself as an athlete out there just making plays, tracking balls down. But I was really just a really athletic player with a good bat. I batted in the 4-hole. I think I batted around 335, I think it was my senior year. And then obviously started right field. And that's pretty much what I did my whole career. I obviously played a lot of different other positions, but in high school I started right field. And I was just, a go-getter. I was able to go get the ball, track the ball down, and make plays.
All right,
Carlos?
thanks, man.
Carlos?
Yeah, Alim, can you explain a little bit why you your sacks took a dip from the first 2 years to the last year, and take us through that interception? If you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, just why your sacks took a dip your last year, and walk us through that interception.
Yeah, so I believe my sacks took a little bit of a dip. My sophomore year, I got more one-on-one blocks. Going into junior season, I didn't see any. I didn't have any one-on-one blocks. It was more double and triple teams with guards coming down. I believe that's why. And can you go to your second half of the question? I'm sorry. The pick six.
Yeah.
So on the pick six, I was actually getting triple teamed on that. And I was a rushing cover guy, so I was making sure the quarterback didn't step up in the pocket, run through any B gaps or A gaps. He threw it. He had a low trajectory, and he had kind of a sidearm type of slot. So I knew he was throwing pretty low through the B gaps. So I seen his eyes. I went and attacked the B gap, got my hands up, was able to bat it. It was in the air, and I just went and tracked it down like an outfielder, and just brought it in. And at that point, I knew I was scoring. So,
is that one of the examples of your athleticism?
Yeah, that's one of the many examples.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Alim. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Excellent.
The 101st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Ifeatu Melifonwu, defensive back, Syracuse.
And this is, again, we're seeing this big corner trend. We saw it a little bit earlier with Deshaun Wright going to the Dallas Cowboys. I thought Melifonwu might be gone by now. Just a very smooth mover. Again, a press corner. Somebody that can get to you nose to nose. He can really run. He ended up running in the high 4.4s. He vertical 41.5 inches. He flashes some toughness. You'll see some big hits. You see him here getting in the backfield. But there were times where there were some missed tackles from off, where he closes, had some missed tackles in space, had 10 of those last year. So improve the tackling, but you've got the size, the fluidity, and the athleticism to really develop a player here.
Can't coach 6'2", 205.
Nope.
Right? Yeah, I mean, that just doesn't come along all out. I think he fits really well in kind of a middle closed system, single high safety. He can be out there and be a rangy player.
I talked to them obviously at Senior, and then I also had contact with Coach Pleasant, one of the DB coaches. It was just a good meeting. We didn't really talk too much about a specific role. I just had a real good conversation with him.
Let's go to Justin Rogers next.
Hey, congratulations and welcome to Detroit.
Thanks.
I'm curious about your relationship with your brother. Is it a friendly rivalry, and how much of a resource has he been as you've gone through this process in getting you prepared for this next level?
See, yeah, with my brother, it's actually, I wouldn't even call it a rivalry. We compete, and me being the younger brother, I just want to do, everything he does, and I want to do it better. But from his end, he wants me to be better than him. He wants me to do things better. He wants me to perform better, everything. So I could even say it's really like a rivalry. He just supports me in everything I do.
And then correct me if I'm wrong. You have a Nigerian background. That's correct.
Yeah, I'm Nigerian.
And so I don't know if you know this, but there is quite a number of Nigerian guys on this roster, including 2 other cornerbacks. And I'm just wondering if that means anything to you to, I guess, have that unique bond and brotherhood beyond, I guess, just being a football player.
Yeah, so I knew that Jeff and Amani were also Nigerian, and I feel like Nigerians, we just always have that, even if we don't know each other, I feel like we always have a connection with each other, because we just come from similar backgrounds, and we kind of know how our parents act and everything like that. We come from the same culture, so I just feel like even though I haven't met them, I definitely have a deep-rooted connection with those 2.
Good stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dave Burkett.
Hey, Ifeatu, I want to ask you a little bit more about your brother too, and just maybe the I don't know how much he's helped you along when it comes to football. I guess you have any good stories about that aspect of your relationship with him?
Good stories about football. Actually, when I was younger and he was in high school, I believe he actually played quarterback. He was like Wildcat quarterback, and he really taught me how to catch. And I remember we would just be in the backyard, and he would just literally just be whipping footballs at me and telling me not to be scared and use my hands. So that's one story. But we would always go to the field, and he would help me on different things, and just even if I made a play, it could have been better. And he always he always trying to push me to that next step, that next level.
So he's 4 or 5 years older than you. Was seeing
Yeah,
him reach?
he's 5 years old.
Okay, and seeing him reach the NFL, how much did that put it in your head that this will be me one day too?
Yeah, 100%. When he got drafted in 2017, I actually no, not when he got drafted. After the combine, I actually made a little countdown in my phone, and it was like I set it for 4 years later, 2021 NFL Combine.
Wow. So tell me about, no combine this year, but when that reminder comes up in your phone, what kind of goes through your head?
When that comes up, honestly, it really pushes me to go harder in every aspect, not even just the athleticism and drills like that, film room, like get my body right, everything. That's just it's an overall motivator, definitely.
And just to be clear, do you set that as like a goal? Is it something that you remembered that you had set, or when it popped up this year, were you like, oh yeah, I forgot about that?
No, that's something I remembered every single year. It was definitely nothing I forgot about. My goals, like I said earlier, my goals was just to be better than him, beat his numbers, and that's exactly what he wanted for me too.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's do two more. Kyle Mikey.
Hey, Ifeatu. Congrats and welcome to Detroit.
Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you committed to Syracuse and then Michigan made a late recruiting push for you. Is that correct?
Yeah. Michigan made a late recruiting push.
So could you just explain what your recruitment was like with Michigan and why you chose, Syracuse was best for you?
Yeah, so Michigan, I was committed to Syracuse at the time, and Michigan came in real late, like 5 days before signing day. At the time, I was very comfortable with Syracuse, with their coaches, their new staff, Coach Babers, and just my recruiting class as well. And I was overall just comfortable, and I knew I took a look at Syracuse's roster, and I knew that I had a chance to play, maybe 2 years in after my redshirt year. And Michigan, I don't think they would have allowed me to redshirt, and that's one of the things I wanted to do coming in to college.
Got you. Cool. Yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
No
Last one, Eric Woodyard.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Fantastic. How are you?
Congratulations, man. Going back on, you talked about having contact with Aubrey Pleasant and just this coaching staff. Like, what are you looking forward to work the most about working with Aubrey Pleasant?
He was probably one of the best coaches I had a meeting with. It was just all around good dude, not even when it comes to football, just everything. I'm just looking forward to just being a sponge and learning everything, and trying to get on the field as fast as I can, the special teams, being a corner, anything. So I'm just looking just to get all the information I can out of him.
All right. Thanks, Ifeatu. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, no problem.
Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Great to see everyone. Today was huge. We were very, very excited about all the players that we were able to acquire today. I think we really gave a boost to our defense. Starting off with Levi, he was a kid that we had all buy-in on. He's a scheme fit. He's very explosive, very talented. He's one that I identified early on in the process. I'd say, back from 2019, when he was still playing, and even, when he had his opt-out, still just kind of just refreshing on his film again last year. And refreshing on his film last year, appreciated and liked him even more, to the point that with the buy-in that we had on that player, we actually made some efforts to actually acquire him earlier than we actually did, but it ended up falling in our favor. But very strong, very explosive. Really, I like to say that he's very a balanced player. He's stout at the point of attack, and he's got the ability to rush inside. So we're really, really fired up about him. He was a big asset, and I guess I say when I talk about how explosive he is, I heard his press conference is pretty explosive as well. So I didn't get a chance to hear it yet, but you kind of see the personality and fire that he's got in him. And then kind of going to Alim, he's another one that we feel all these guys, Levi and Alim, and then we'll get to Iffy as well, but they all have versatility, and Alim is another one that for a big nose tackle that's powerful at the point of attack, he has a lot of upside. He has quickness. He has the ability to do some stuff inside and sub nickel stuff. So he has some upside as a rusher as well. So, just to be able to add these two key cogs on the middle of our defense is a huge bump for us. Alim, he's still raw in terms of he hasn't been playing the position very long. He was a running back, linebacker, baseball player, just a big, huge athlete in high school, and then kind of beefed up to become a defensive lineman. So you see that athletic ability and footwork and explosiveness that he has in him, and then just to be able to cap it off with Iffy, just a big, long corner. I remember when scouting his brother, years ago, and he's got the same, physical specimen traits, for a big, long corner that, from the outside, it looks like he's just a press corner, but he's actually not. How Iffy grew on me in the process is his ability to actually play in off coverage and actually be able to maneuver, show quickness in a short area in zone and off coverage, which usually guys that long and that big aren't able to do. So we're fired up with all these kids. I know I talked mostly about the physical traits besides Levi's press conference, but as we stuck to what we believed in, and they still live up to the standards of what we're looking for football players. They have the intangibles, they have grit, they're tough, they're physical, they're smart and explosive, and they're all instinctive very well. So they're smart football players. With that said, we'll take any questions.
Hey, Brad, I saw that Alim bench pressed 445 pounds and squatted 640. I'm guessing your numbers were pretty similar when you were starring at North Carolina A&T back in the day.
Yeah, you probably need to cut that in half real quick before you start there.
But just can you speak to not only his athleticism, but Levi's too, and the cornerback as well, and just was that one of the things that jumped out to you on tape was just their ability to get off the ball and the athleticism and the athletic traits that went along with everything else you liked?
Yeah, start with Levi first is, again, watching him, like 2 years ago, you saw the power, and you saw the ability. Like I said, he was just very instinctive in his ability to find the ball. But it was when I refreshed on this film for the first time last fall, during his opt-out, and watching basically the whole season on him, and that's when I really, really appreciated his explosiveness and how fast he was. He's a kid that he can really run for a big man that's 295 pounds. There's some plays on tape where he's just really he's chasing down guys, to the perimeter and from the backside. And I think he showed that, the one day that he showed up to the Senior Bowl, he fared very, very well. And then even for his pro day, he ran a fast time before he had to kind of shut down for some soft tissue stuff. And Alim, he was another one that, first watch him, you're thinking of not having seen him live physically, but watching him on film, he seems like a kind of a shorter, wider guy. So you're automatically thinking, okay, he's your typical two-down anchor nose tackle, but then you keep watching him, it's like, wait, hold on, this dude's got some quickness that you don't usually see from a guy this big and this powerful. So he was really fun. So to answer your question, the appreciation for the athletic skill set, and the same thing with Iffy. Again, you think press corner, but that's the way he kind of grew on me in the process, is like when we started matching him up versus the other corners in the draft, and just his movement skills in space was very, very impressive.
Kyle Mikey.
Hey, Brad. You and Dan have talked so much coming into the draft about how you wanted to get bigger and more physical. You wanted this team to get bigger and more physical. You got 3 linemen right out the gate. And I'm just curious, how much of that was by design, or was that just more so the way your board fell? I mean, did you come in anticipating getting 3 linemen so early, or was that just the way the board fell?
You know, I think it's pretty much how the board fell, I would say. You know, again, if there was, we try not to anchor ourselves into positions per se, and we try to make sure that we get the best football player. But I will say, starting with, you know, Levi, he was just one that, you know, after we got Panay, you know, in the first round, you know, towards the end of Thursday, we were just, you know, trying to see if there was ways to maybe go back up and get them. And then even, you know, earlier, you know, today, you know, the guys in the draft room did a heck of a job about keeping me tempered to practice a little bit more patience, you know, because he's one that, you know, was highly sought after, but he just happened to play, you know, that same position. And same with the lean. It's just, and we get players that we love. We get players that we're excited about. We don't say like, okay, we have to get this defensive lineman. We got to get this nose tackle because those are the positions that we need. No, we just get football players that we're really excited about and that we're hot on. And so that's kind of really it boils down to, and it just so happens to be it's the same position on defensive line, but I did think to even get a guy that can play on the perimeter on the outside at corner, you know, had balanced it out well as too.
Thanks, Brad.
Bojo.
Hey, Brad, you mentioned the common traits physically that these draft picks have, versatility and everything else. What about off the field? You talk about love of football, and we've spoken to all of them, and they seem like they have big personalities, outgoing, bright guys. Is that something you look for, and how do you determine that? Because it's not something you can just watch on tape, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, and you know that all of that goes to our scouts. You know that they work extremely hard to make sure that the intangibles are right and they meet the standards of what we're looking for. And they do so much work. I mean, truly, they are the bloodline of the personnel department, and we just couldn't operate without that. Because if they don't have those intangibles and they don't have, you know, that passion, work ethic, desire, the love of the game, the intelligence, the football smarts, as we call it, if they don't have that, it's going to be hard. The NFL is hard. The NFL is really hard, and everybody's talented. So when you have those intangibles, often that is the separation. And so that's why it's very important, but that's total credit to the scouts that really, you know, be experts in their area and dominate out there.
Thank you.
Chris Burke.
Hey, Brad, make sure you're not around any kids when you watch that Levi press conference later on.
I saw like something posted on, I believe something on Twitter, and, you know, I know Dan and myself got kind of a kick out of it, but I said that's just an excerpt, so I don't know really how far it got, but at least it showed that he is a passionate dude, man, which we already knew.
Yeah, it was fun for us. I don't know how much of the draft strategy you're willing to go into here, but obviously you guys have talked about having so many needs at different positions. You only have a couple picks tomorrow. Do you feel like you can get accomplished everything you want to in this draft with 2 picks on day 3, or will you be looking to maybe add some more?
Yeah, you know, we'll just see how it falls. Again, when you say accomplish everything. Yeah, well, that everything would be to get as many good football players as we possibly can with the picks that we have. And if there's some moves happen where we happen to acquire extra, then it'll fall that way. We're not gonna pass on good football players just to acquire an extra pick unless we feel like we'll still be in position to get them. But we had some dialogue with several teams, throughout the day, before the start of the round and throughout the round. So we just decided just to stay where we're at because we really like those players that we ended up picking. So that's kind of fell out. But you want to just it gets to a point where you can identify areas of weaknesses or areas that we need to improve depth, but you can't get everything in one draft. So I think that we're on a good path about sticking to what our vision is getting the best football players.
Nick Baumgartner.
Hey, Brad, really quick on Melifonwu, you mentioned versatility. I'm curious. Obviously, we know he's a corner, but do you guys feel like he can play safety at all? Is that on the table or possible?
You know what? I'll leave that up to AG, to Aaron Glenn and Aubrey Pleasant in terms of, personally, I do think that he has versatility to do everything. I think he has versatility to play outside, to play back deep, and even to play inside in a matchup on big guys. So that versatility that he has, but I'll leave that up to AG in terms of where he feels like he best fit.
Thanks, Brad.
Got time for 3 more, starting with Dave.
Hey, Brad, got a couple things for you. I'll try to be quick. Just one follow-up on what Chris had asked. Is this going to be, I don't know, maybe not quite as many UDFAs this year because of like the lack of just sheer numbers of guys in the draft? Is that an issue at all, just the depth of the draft, I guess?
Will be impactful on the undrafted free agents, you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, if there's, I don't know, not as many people in the draft to begin with, are there just not as many people worthy of those late round picks or undrafted, free agent guys, I guess?
I don't know if I could universally answer that and speak for other teams. I know for our case, obviously, our last pick is as of right now, our last pick is in the 5th round. So it is not going to change our approach or alter our approach on how we're going to attack undrafted free agency. We have a good plan in place that we have met about, and we have a great process in place, I would say, for undrafted free agency. So that's not going to really change our approach in terms of numbers or how many we're going to sign or how many that we need per position.
Right. And then, you talked about going up to get Levi a couple times. Can you just shed some light on how aggressive were you? At what point did you realize that he might get to you there? There was one defensive tackle that, went off the board before you and none that went yesterday. So.
Yeah, he was one that, we felt like his skill set, was worthy of being selected in the 1st round. And again, we all had buy-in on it. He's been one of my favorite players, in the draft. So, we did make some attempts to get back up there, and then obviously it didn't fall through. And then we made some attempts earlier. So we made a few attempts to get him, but it just sometimes the draft gods smile on you a little bit and, bless you with what you were wanting. And, all those guys in the room just kept stressing to stay patient, which, it was a great suggestion. But, we were all kind of sweating bullets a little bit, but, the patience paid off.
Right. Last thing, just because you played the position, do you have a special affinity for defensive linemen, or is it tougher to scout them? Is it, how do you, I don't know, I know some guys go both ways on that, right? If you play a position, maybe you're looking for different things or it better. How do you sort of view that position?
Yeah, that's a good question because, through different regimes, the position is, is they have different requirements for different schemes. And so being been different regimes. Sometimes you want defensive linemen to be quick and explosive upfield, and sometimes you want them to be more square and firm at the point of attack. So I've had both, but one thing that's universal that I don't think that's never gets looked past or is acceptable is to have the ability to rush the passer. So that's definitely one that, if they show the upside to do that and they have the quickness and length to have a pass rush upside, then that's always a bonus. And there's certain instinctive things that you see at that position, especially from an interior standpoint, about playing certain blocks, especially backside scoop blocks, not getting reached, being able to get your hips in the hole, stay square. So there's a lot of things that you see in both phases, both as a rusher, as an interior rusher, and at the point of attack. So those things that, is quickly to be identified, and it shows a lot of different things. It shows how instinctive they are. They show how well coached they are, how well they use their hands. So, are they coachable? Are they using the technique that they're taught? So all that stuff kind of plays into it. But I do say that both Levi and Alim has shown that on their film.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Rogers.
Right, you kind of perfectly are leading me into where I want to go with this question. Interior pass rush was a big problem here before you got here. You've looked at the film, you've seen what was lacking. You're coming from a team that had maybe the greatest interior pass rusher of all time, and I know we kind of get caught up on edge production and sacks from the edge, but how important is interior pass rush, and the two guys you added seem to bring some of that juice to this roster?
Yeah, I think it's very important. That is a great question. Now, where I came from, he's just a rare, he's a Hall of Fame player, and so it is what it is, you don't find those type of guys like that. But just from having interior pass rush, that was something that we were looking to add. I do think that these guys do bring that, and that's just a bonus. Like when you have, and that's what I think the beauty is about both of these kids, is that not only are they powerful and strong at the point of attack, but they do have that upside to catch an edge and get upfield. And just like you brought up a great point about bringing pressure from the edge, but if you can apply that pressure even quicker on the interior inside, then you can even have more of an impact defensively.
And I'd like to think this is the most important question of this 20 minutes. Can you commit to maybe getting Alim some looks at fullback, given that running back background?
I don't think that he would turn it down. I know he's a confident kid. That's a really good athlete, but I believe that his running back days are behind him. But, I guess I will check with Anthony Lynn and see if he has anything up his sleeve for Alim.
Yeah, I'm told you don't anger yourself, so let's not start now. Thanks, Brad.
That is a great point.
All right, Stoney, last question.
Yeah, Brad, obviously you were thinking about trading up for Levi. Was there any sentiment, whether for him, probably not, but any of the others, to trade down? There were a lot of trades around your picks where you might have been able to get a couple more picks just to drop down a few slots.
Yeah, that really never came to fruition. That really never came. It just so happened that actually at every pick, we actually did have a player that we were really, really hoping that was going to come to us. So it was more discussions of trading up, not only just for Levi, but, even when we got into, round 3, those times where we were thinking, should we move up to get our guy? But again, only coming into the deal with 6 picks, we were just trying to make sure that we stayed patient, stayed disciplined, and trusted our board. And I can say that was huge for Iffy, at our last pick, is that, really trusting our board. He was actually standing out pretty, I wouldn't say like a sore thumb, but he was standing out significantly. So from a value standpoint, from the premium of the position, let's just go and just trust our board, trust the process, all the work that we put in, and, you really feel good about the value you get.
And how tempted were you guys to go try to find a wide receiver, or is that for tomorrow?
Well, the drafts are not over with yet, so yeah, there's obviously going to be some opportunities to add players tomorrow, and we'll just see how that falls. But we'll just kind of we won't anchor ourselves still. We won't pass up good football players, but there's other positions outside of wide receiver that can still help us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brad. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, guys.
Lions select Ifeatu Melifonwu, defensive back, Syracuse.